Today we got a 2011 Toyota Corolla S, and we have a small misfire. It's a weird misfire because it's not a misfire that is causing a misfire all the time. It only does it like when you come up to a stoplight and you have it in drive, or even if you have it in reverse. Sometimes it'll do it, and the idle just kind of drops a little bit, and then the car shakes a little bit, and then it kind of goes back to normal. I checked everything here. I don't see anything cracked. I went ahead and pulled the cover. This cover just pops up. It's got like four little rubber little things that are holding it on there. So you can pull that aside so you get to this. This car, I had replaced the spark plugs maybe 5-6 months ago. I replaced the air filter as well. I already checked the air filter. I already took this off and looked in there, and it looks still brand new, not even dirty. But it's weird because the problem only happens when it's in, most of the time it only happens when it's in drive, but not when you're driving it. So if you start to take off, the car runs perfectly fine. It doesn't lose power or nothing. You step on the gas and it goes. But when I'm stopped at a light, it'll sit there and idle, and then all of a sudden it'll just, the idle will kind of like kick and the car will shake kind of bad, almost like it's either getting air or maybe not enough fuel or too much fuel, or I don't know. But it's just unusual because sometimes I'll have it in park and it really won't do it, but then other times it might start doing it. It's just weird. It's very erratic. If I put it in neutral, it does it a lot less, but it'll do it every once in a while, very little. I don't know if it's because the idle's kicked up. So I'm thinking that maybe the throttle body might be dirty. I could have swore I cleaned this, but it's been a while, so I don't remember. So we're going to go ahead and take this apart to get to the throttle body and clean it. And then I'm also going to clean the mass airflow sensor. Now I have a couple things here that I have. Give me 1 second. We have a mass airflow sensor cleaner. This is what you want to use if you're going to clean the mass airflow sensor. You don't use anything else. Throttle body and air intake cleaner. You want to use this. You want to use this stuff if you're going to be clean that throttle body, mass airflow. Maybe a couple rags. I got these low lint rags. You might need a scrub brush if it's real dirty in there. Maybe a screwdriver, some pliers if they have clamps. Some kind of a. If you want to do it by hand, you could Phillips head, but I have it on a drill here. And then I'm also going to replace the battery terminal. My battery terminal is kind of shot, so I don't know which terminal I'm going to be able to use here. I might have to cut the wires and do that. That's a separate little job that I'm doing here. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in and let's get started. You can hear it kind of shaking a little bit here and there. I checked all the hoses, I checked all the breathers here. Don't seem to have anything ripped or torn. That's coming on. And I'm also going to replace this trimmer. I was trying to tighten it, and it kind of got a little bit of corrosion on there, but check the voltage, it's still charging good. So we already replaced the air filter. I already looked in there, but I'm going to pull that off, clean the air, mass air flow sensor in here, clean the throttle body in here. So we're going to take this off, this or right here, whatever which one is easier. Get it out of the way so we get in there. I don't know if I have a bad pedal controller in there, man. Hopefully not, because I think you have to replace the whole thing on those ones. Okay, so we're going to start by removing this hose here. Now there's two options here. You can actually unclip the whole box, and you got to unclip all this wiring. So I'm not going to do that. Just going to loosen this up. Pull that out. Do the same thing down here. And that pretty much gives us access to that. I thought we were going to have to pull this off. You don't want to spray this directly into there, okay? The throttle body cleaner. We don't want to spray this into there. We want to spray it onto a rag. Because you'll just kind of get like, what you can do is get like a screwdriver and to kind of hold it like that. Hold it open, and then you can clean the bottom. Take that first. I'll try to get in there and clean. It's possible that it's not seating it. Yeah, that's a big ring. Yo, wow, you can see it. You guys see what I just took off right there? Look at that. That's a possibility. So it's got a bunch of carbon buildup. Let's hope that that's what's causing it. I'm hoping. So you want to get it nice and clean. Yeah, you don't want to spray it in there because you don't want that stuff going in. If you took the throttle body off, then you can spray it, but then you have to replace the gasket. And so this is maintenance. You should do this to your car. Real important that you get to the edges. Let me show you. You want to get in here and over here, not just, right there. You want to try to get it as clean as possible. It's a little difficult because visibility wise, but shove that rag in there, get it nice and wet with the cleaner, and then do the same thing on the other side. The important part is that you get the lip clean where it closes. That way, this part too right here, you see all this and this edge right here, that's got to be cleaned on both sides. That edge, how dirty that is right there. You gotta clean that too. I mean, obviously the bottom one, it's almost impossible to clean because you can't get it in there. You can't get to that other side to clean it, so. And then now do the top. Man, it's really filthy. Look at that. I could have swore I cleaned this before. Maybe I'm thinking of a different car. The hardest thing is holding this thing open while you're trying to clean it, You're using your fingers to try to get. I mean, I'm pretty liberal with this spray because I want to get it on there. Not enough to where it's dripping off the rag, but you want it to be able to clean in there. The whole lid, the whole top of the flap. What I'm trying to do is get my finger inside on the actual flap, and as I'm opening, I'm trying to get underneath it to clean the edge of it, which is pretty difficult to do. I mean, if you really want to clean this thing perfectly, then you have to take it apart, but as long as you get that edge where it could seat better, generally you're not going to have, you know, because that can definitely cause issues with idle, because you might be getting, you know, too much air going in there and the car starts to run erratically, you know, when you put it in gear. That is pretty, I mean, I don't know if I can get that any cleaner. Over here, a little edge over here on the flap. The edges are the hardest spots to clean because you can't really get in there. I mean, do not spray like that, okay? It's pretty clean. There's a little bit right in here. I think that's pretty good. I could put that hose back on and try to run it and see if it still does the same thing. Which, you know what? Let's do that. Back on here. Put this hose back on here. Make sure you line up the little, there's like a little slit there. There's a little piece of metal right here on this side. That's where this lines up with that. And then that one lines up right there. And then basically slide this bracket to slide back. Actually, let me take this off one more time. I gotta put this back on there. See that little metal piece here? That lines up with that and that. Hold the bracket so that the bracket doesn't slide down on you. Make sure it's going on correctly. So I'm going to start the vehicle, put it in drive, and put my foot on the brake and put the handbrake on and see if this thing still shakes. And then we'll proceed to clean the mass air flow sensor. Either way, I'm going to clean it, but then I have to let that dry very well. So give me 1 minute. Let me. Now it is going to idle funny at the beginning because we're messing with the little flapper, and it kind of adjusts itself. Let that for a minute. Okay, so it's still bucking a little bit. So now we're gonna go ahead and take off the mass airflow sensor. Could push down the connector, disconnect it. Just don't turn the key on when you have this thing unplugged, because it'll throw a code. You gotta clean that and that. I mean, it's hard to tell if it's dirty. Yeah, don't spray this near the car. Try to stay away from the car. Oh, you should let this dry out for a good maybe 30 minutes. Or if you have air, you could probably blow it out. It doesn't leave residue, but it leaves a little bit of air. Blow it out. Goes back, just, it's pretty simple, 2 screws. You just plug it back in. You know what, let's air that out too. Back in. Let's try to start it back up. Right now we have the air conditioner on and we have it in drive. I got my foot on the brake and I got the emergency brake on. Okay, it's still bugging a little bit. Right there, twice. So now I've pretty much done the maintenance that I've had to do on these, you know, the basic stuff. Now we're gonna get into something a little bit more difficult since the problem kind of still there. The jerk seems like it's actually a little bit harder now, but the car seems like it's idling faster or nicer, like smoother. So. I think the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my scanner on it and I'm going to scan that really quick, see if there's any hidden codes in there, and then after that we're going to take off, you know, the coil packs and check the spark plugs. Maybe we have a bad plug or something. Okay, so if you open up this little compartment here, this is where your port plugs in for diagnostics. Let's go to manual. Actually, it should be auto, but I don't know if it'll read it. Turn the key off for 10 seconds, then on. So we're gonna 1001, 1002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. Put the key in, turn it to all the lights come on, hit enter. No matches found. Okay. Select for 2011 is yes. Okay. There is a misfire code. There it is. It's hidden. Cylinder 2. It's a P0302. So cylinder 2 is misfiring on us. Okay. That's the only code detected. So now we're going to look at cylinder 2, take off that plug and wire, and maybe it's a bad plug, maybe it's a bad coil pack. So let's go and turn this off. Let me exit here real quick. Exit, return to the main menu. Turn that off. Go and plug the scanner. So I looked it up and it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4 are the cylinders. That's how they're labeled on there. But the firing order is actually 1, 3, 4, 2, which I really don't care about the firing order. I just want to know what the cylinders are marked, which is basically 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's for all those 06 to 2020. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the second one. Just be very careful on these connectors. Try to push it down good. So you want to push down on the little tab and then wiggle it out. Sometimes those things break because they're just so fragile. It's been such a long time since they were new. Now I'm sure there's a way you can check the resistance on these. So unfortunately I don't have my spark plug socket here. So I'm using it's a 14, and then I'm using 2 small extensions because it's hard to get in here. So I'm gonna put one down in there like that. Once I got it almost all the way down to the bottom, I'll put the second one on there. And then I'll go ahead and take my number 3, and I'm gonna swap the plugs. Okay, so this one, number 3, we're gonna put it over here, and number 2, let me do it like this. Happen. So I'm gonna kind of drop it in there. I lower it down with my finger. And just right into the hole. So I drove the car around for a couple days to see if it would throw any codes. I checked it yesterday and nothing. No codes. Because the car seems to have more power now. But after all that work I've done. But yeah. Okay, and we're back. So we're going to replace the spark plug that we think might be bad. And it's switching the coil pack over here. I don't think I showed that, but I actually swapped the coil pack over. Still didn't get a code. Okay guys, so we went ahead and replaced the spark plug that we thought was bad, and we have the same problem. Yeah, the last real step that I can do from here is going to be to replace the coil pack. Maybe it's misfiring a little bit. It's not enough to throw me. Hey guys, so we're back. I went ahead and I ended up getting new coil packs. I got them on eBay. They say they're genuine Toyota. They say Toyota right there. Denso has the same part number. Got them pretty cheap. I was actually shocked on how cheap they were. Anyways, we're going to replace them. Remember, the problem initially started here. I switched the plugs and the coil pack over to cylinder 3, and the problem didn't come up again. I mean, I still get the issue, but it's not popping up in a code. So what we could do is we could just replace the one first and then start it up and try it. But I bought all 4, so I'm gonna replace all 4. A little bit easier. Yeah, so leave the bolt on there maybe, and then you could squeeze the connector a little bit easier to pull it, so you're not trying to hold it and pull it at the same time. So it's pretty simple. Hope that comes out. The new one in. Plugs right in. I mean, these are really easy to replace. I don't think you need me for this, but this is part of the video, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move all this stuff out of the way. So I went ahead and replaced this coil pack. I have the emergency brake on, and then I have it in drive and have the air conditioning on. So I also have the wheels blocked off. Usually it won't start missing until the car's actually kind of warmed up. So I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit. I'm gonna open up the garage door because I don't want to die in here. And then I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, so I replaced the coil pack and it didn't misfire. I'm taking it on a road test just to double check, because I just don't believe that that could be it. This is one time I would be very happy that I'm wrong. So we're just coming up to a stoplight. Got my air conditioner on, I'm gonna blast it. Usually when I come up to some kind of lights for a little bit and kind of stop, it'll start acting weird. Let's lower the air conditioner just a little bit so that. No, nothing yet. Pull in here real quick. I'm just gonna leave it in drive. Just hold the brake on. See if anything happens. I honestly can't believe that it could have been that. So yeah, that seems to fix it. I'm gonna replace all the coil packs because I bought them, and then I'll just keep the ones that are good, and I'm gonna toss the one that's bad. I don't want to make a mistake and put it in here again. But anyways, guys, hey, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna show the rest of the video because you don't need to see it, but it looks like the coil pack fixed that problem. Pretty much does it for the video, guys. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'm not a certified mechanic here. I work on my own cars. I've been doing it for almost 30 years. I fix a lot of problems. I do a lot of research, you know, and I like to try to help people out when I can. So if I can help you out, I will definitely do so. Like and subscribe. Appreciate for everything. Thank you, guys.